Hey everyone, and welcome to Sacred Heart Stories, a podcast all about the television show Scrubs. Our guest this episode is none other than Shaughn Buchholz, who played the awesome intern turned barista Jason Cabbage, also known as Cabbage. How you doing, man?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm good. First off, would you prefer to refer to your character as Cabbage or Jason?
I think Cabbage is probably the more appropriate. I never went by Jason, always just by Cabbage, pretty much.
Yeah, it was if we call you Cabbage, Mark Cabbage, might think we're talking to him, so
Yeah,
we gotta worry.
exactly.
But you joined the show in season 5. Had
Uh-huh.
you seen much of Scrubs before that?
I had watched it probably a handful of times. I probably caught it like, half the times it aired. Was definitely a fan. So it was very surreal to all of a sudden be in the TV, basically, in the show that I was watching. I was like, this is the place I am now making the thing that I was watching. But yeah, no, I was definitely a fan before. It was such a revolutionary show when it came out. It does such a great job at like, you know, comedy, then to drama, and wrapping it all up in 22 minutes. It's a really, really good show.
How did your role come about? Was it just like a regular audition or?
Yeah, so it was just like I think it was just one episode originally that they hired us for. I think in season 5, there was sort of this, now Zach is JD. Now JD is kind of the John C. McGinley character for a new batch of interns. So we were kind of those, and they cast, I think there was like 5 or 6 of us for this one episode. We were kind of doing rounds together and, doing some jokes. So when I auditioned, it was literally just a page. It was just a couple of lines, and that was all it was. And that's kind of how it goes. You're like, you do your bit, it was one day or maybe 2 days even. And then I thought it was done. I thought it was over.
And then you just got the call, or they mentioned you, hey, we're doing more episodes and more episodes and more episodes, or?
Yeah, it just was, I must have done something right because they were like, come back, we need, these interns back. And then I don't know how many episodes I did before the Cabbage episode, but they basically just were like, you're coming back and now you're this person. And that was really kind of what launched that, that character. It was just a couple episodes, and they, Bill basically just picked me to do it. I didn't really know quite what it was until, even when I was shooting it and doing it at the time, like I didn't quite realize even, the scope of the part.
Mm. Did you like playing that sort of bumbling idiot kind of character?
Yeah, I love it. It's like my favorite thing to play.
Oh.
Yeah,
Easy
no,
when it takes inspiration from real life.
yeah, exactly. It's so fun to, like, you can get away with so much, and you can get away with, I think, in that situation, it was very intimidating, and it was nerve wracking, and there was a real bumbly sense to, the acting, having to be there with all these people that you admire, and, obviously not fuck up, and I swear, sorry, or not
Yeah,
mess
you
up.
can. That's fine.
um,
So
you
whatever
know,
you want.
like, yeah, thank you. Not mess up, and, you know, just kind of, so that sort of bumbly, like, I'm getting caught up in it right now. That sort of like bumbling sort of um, character quality was easy to sort of lean into.
Mm. I I'd like to refer to Cabbage as sort of a fan favorite, but I think after what he did on his way out of the hospital, he's not really one of the most favored characters at the moment.
It wasn't my fault.
Do people I guess struggle at separating Cabbage from you if they see you around? Do they think you actually did all this stuff, or?
Yeah. No, it's funny because like when this whole thing started, I was getting tweeted at and tagged on things because the whole spreading of, disease in a hospital is a real thing. And People were like, learn from Cabbage, don't do what Cabbage did. You know, JD fires me, and he was probably smart to do so. You know, and full full credit to him, I had already been fired. It was a mistake I made after already being reprimanded. You know, people love Michael Leonard, and she was great. And I'm really sorry I had to kill her. But I think we should all look at the bigger lesson here, is that make sure you wash your hands, don't touch your face, and wear a mask.
It definitely is. It's no pun intended. That clip has really gone viral again since since all this stuff's happened. And
Yeah.
is it cool to see that? Is it to be the person teaching people this lesson?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I instantly kind of, just tagged Bill, Bill Lawrence, the creator of the show, because, I'm just one part of it. He obviously wrote it, and so I'm just there to sort of, fulfill that idea. It's always weird, though, because it does inevitably come back at you because you are the person doing the thing. No, I was, if any one person washed their hands once more because of it, or if that green sort of glowing hand did any sort of, like imprint on people's minds of how serious this is and how we need to, take precautions and, put on a mask, then I'm happy to take the punch on the chin, I guess.
But after that, so you were an intern, you got fired, you do stuff that we will not mention again, and then you come back around, and now you're a barista.
Yeah. Hey,
how did that one come about?
Why not? Well, yeah, Bill, true to form in like how it happened previous with getting the Cabbage episode, we had the wrap party. I think Cabbage was towards the end of the season 5 or something. And Bill at the wrap party turned to me and he said, the worst thing we did this season was write you off the show. And I was like, oh, you flatter me. Thank you so much. That was so much fun. Of course, I'm still just like, blah, 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 blah. Like, thank you so much. This was so much fun. I don't even, I still, even when I've run into Bill or, Zach, it's still very like, blah, blah. But I was just very effusive and, of course, thankful. And true to his word, like literally I got a call in a couple of months and he's like, I was in the first episode and he brought me back. So he was like, we're going to put you in this coffee shop. You can do some stuff and, just kind of have me there to sort of like continue this sort of, bumbly sort of accident prone, well-meaning. I mean, I think Cabbage is really well-meaning, but I think he is, clumsy, I guess, to say something nice. So clumsy people probably shouldn't be having people's lives in their hands,
Yeah, the coffee shop might have been a better fit.
Yeah. I mean, a latte is one thing, but like, a kidney transplant is a whole other.
Yeah. As a story arc, obviously, intern, barista, where do you think Cabbage would be now after the show ended?
Wow. I think he probably stayed on at Coffee Bucks. Maybe did the manager thing, regional manager situation. Moved out to maybe, City of Industry or somewhere really little outskirts of LA. Got himself a nice, condo. I think he really loved working there. I don't see him ever going back to medicine. But yeah, I think he really enjoyed the coffee game. Maybe entered a couple of barista competitions, just for some flair.
When you keep getting the callbacks, did you think those were maybe because of your Dynamite Ape impersonation?
I maybe, it was weird. It's so funny because like these things that you do like very quickly or these one-offs that feel like one-offs, so bizarre to look back and see that they have this life way, way, way beyond. That's just something that I kind of just came up with quickly because it just said in the script ape impression. It didn't even necessarily say that I did it. I don't think. I think I just started doing it. I don't even know. But that speaks to the environment of the set too. There's a lot of places, a lot of times you do a show and you don't necessarily feel super comfortable to try different things and to experiment, just because you don't want to waste anyone's time or mess up or anything. But on Scrubs, I really felt I was encouraged to do things like that. And it was definitely a moment of like, well, I have this idea. I'm like, just do it, you know? And I remember after that take, everyone was like, did someone tell you to do that? They were like, why did you? They were laughing, of course. They were very appreciative. They were like, that was hilarious. That was great. Thank you. But then they were like, that was, wow, good for you for just kind of jumping in. And I think Bill really responds to people that are collaborative and trying to bring their own ideas, obviously, to making the show funny. And likely, Bill will be the first to be like, that's not funny. Try this, you know. He'll equally say the same thing. It's like, that doesn't work for, in my impression, that he's like, that doesn't work for the show. Like, try it like this or say it like this. And it'll be like, oh, right, that is funnier. So it goes both ways.
Yeah. So how much, I guess, was improv, or like off the top of your head then, for the stuff you did? Was it like 50-50? Was it still quite scripted, or that?
It was still quite scripted. There's obviously more leeway when you know, between the lines of reactionary things or your take on things, which will lead to like a prolonged sort of reaction or non-verbal sort of cue. Those things are a lot more improv. But in terms of the actual dialogue, not a ton. Every time I did a scene with Neil, though, it was always very off script. Neil, you know, very rarely like would, you know, stick to the script. In fact, maybe never. It wasn't really consistent because he's just so talented at improv. So the couple times I had scenes with him, it was very much just play. And this is before I did a lot of improv. I ended up doing a lot more improv after Scrubs, but you know, it was still really fun, and he's very, very funny, and just stay with him basically and agree and be a bumbling idiot, you know. But yeah, most of it I would say was scripted. Yeah.
Outside of the janitor, is the set like really fun? It seems like it would be the kind of place, how you're describing it, where it's just open and free and everybody's there to have a good time, as well as make a show. Obviously, you gotta have the serious aspect there, but between takes and stuff like that, was it very free and just running around with mates?
Yeah, it really was. It was such a unique experience. I don't know if you've been listening to the podcast they're doing. Zach and Donald are doing the recap podcast. It's been so interesting to listen to that too. It's been so nostalgic. I mean, obviously they're still like in season 2, but it's like just listening back, it's kind of been a good kind of quarantine listen of just how special it was and how unique that experience was. Just mostly because we were in our own building. Everything was self-contained in that hospital, and you felt very free, and you didn't have other people kind of breathing down your neck. You didn't have a lot of distractions, and also everyone was so much fun. Like every person was so interesting to talk to, and I was so wide-eyed and excited to be there, and you know, to actually be having like one of my first real gigs, and you know, getting to try and do different things, and you know, improv and stuff. I mean, if anything, I look back and I go like, I wish I could have done more. Wish I could have been on all the time, you know, because it was so much fun, and it was really, really fun to just laugh and like try something like, oh no, let's try this. Like, oh no, like I have an idea, let's do it like this. And then when that works, and it's funny, and it's just such an amazing feeling, and it's great when everyone is kind of on board for that.
Yeah. Do you have a sort of favorite story from your time at Sacred Heart, in terms of just something that maybe it was a bit of fun or something out of the ordinary you got to do?
Funny, when I don't know if you remember, I think when he fires me or something, and he's talking to me, and like the music comes in, and it like, and he's like still talking to me, and it's just on my face. Zach thought it'd be funny to just riff, and he just was like, I forget exactly what he's riffing about, but it was something very like off color and not at all what my face looks like. I think he's like making, I don't even remember what it was, but it was kind of like funny and racy, and he was trying to make me laugh.
Yeah.
But I remember thinking, I'm like, I'm not gonna laugh because I know the camera's doing a slow on my face. I have to look sad, and he was trying to make me laugh and trying to crack me. Yeah, so he's saying some really funny things there, and I was able to kind of like keep it until cut, and then I could laugh. After.
Did you get that on the first take, or did you crack you once?
I think I got it on the first take. I'm professional. I do not crack. Do not waste the film, because we shot that on film, so we did not want to. I mean, there was no just SD card to reload. It was you really didn't want to mess up a shot, because it was precious film.
So we've talked about, I guess, what Cabbage is doing nowadays and in the future, but what's Shaughn doing nowadays?
I'm so busy right now. I'm glad you asked. Just so many projects. Right now, I mean, no, we're all like in quarantine.
Staying at home, wearing a mask, washing my hands.
Washing my hands, going for runs, making dinner, repeat. So I mean, what I was up to kind of before this happened, what was I up to? Feels like so long ago. It's a whole different life. I went to CalArts, which is in Valencia, and I was working on a new play up there, collaborating with a longtime friend of mine and producing partner. We do a lot of theater. So it was we were doing we were workshopping a new play that was hopefully going to be in New York in the fall. Traveling to New York to do it, but it's not happening, obviously. So I was doing that. And then now we're kind of in quarantine. The same producing partner, Julie Crockett, she and I are working on a screenplay adaptation of a play that we did based on the Book of Job in the Bible. So we were doing that. So we're kind of writing that now. Let's see. I was kind of auditioning. I've been kind of auditioning from home a little bit, but I don't know if anything's actually going to get made. So that's always kind of up in the air. I did a series a year and a half ago for you guys if you want to watch something. It's called Weird City. It's on YouTube Premium, but you can watch the first two, I think, for free. It was with Jordan Peele and Charlie Sanders. It's really, really fun. It was a really zany, weird sci-fi comedy. I highly recommend it. Did that. Yeah, so I'm just kind of like trying to figure it out, to be honest. Everything I was doing kind of stopped. So, a friend of mine, I helped open a wine bar with him. So I was kind of helping out and, doing stuff with wine and, working there a little bit and doing different aspects of wine things, sommelier stuff, wine sales and things. But that's also stopped. So, right now I'm just happy to be healthy and trying to figure out the next steps. I do miss auditioning. I miss, doing shows. I miss doing plays. I miss doing all that stuff, It's kind of a bummer. But
waiting for life to get back to normal.
Yeah, and I hate saying that because I kind of like hate being like, well, I'm just waiting around. But it's also been kind of nice, I guess, to sort of reset and chill and relax a little bit. But I love what I do. I love, getting to make projects. I like getting to act. So it's hard to feel like I don't know when that's going to happen again.
Yeah.
And I really don't have much control over when that can happen. But hopefully it'll get going here soon, and kind of get back out there and get another project. Because it's I love like I said, I love doing it. Like I was really bummed about the play, and but it'll be interesting, right?
If talking about new projects, if Scrubs decided to come back, everything's getting a readaptation nowadays on streaming platforms. If they came back and they said, "Hey, we want Cabbage, we want him back," would you jump at that opportunity to come back?
I mean, let me think about it. Yeah, of course. Yeah, totally. Yeah, bring back Cabbage. Let's start a petition. No, it's interesting to. It's been weird because I guess maybe because of quarantine too, a lot of people are watching it, and I think also because of Zach and Donald's podcast, people have been watching it more and more. Yeah, that would be amazing. It was so much fun. It would be so interesting to revisit that character now. I feel so much different, obviously, so much more mature. Because I was pretty young when I did it. So it'd be just really fascinating to kind of go back and play that sort of bumbly character again, and to get to work with those guys and play with those guys again would be, and gals, guys and gals. Yeah, it would be amazing. It'd be so great. Love to go back.
And I guess just to wrap up, sort of a final word, if you could say anything straight down the camera to the fans of Scrubs, people who have watched the show the whole way through, they loved Cabbage, despite his actions sometimes. What would you say to them?
First of all, please forgive me for that writing. It's a sore spot. No, thank you guys so much. I mean, it's been such a fun thing to be a part of, and it really wouldn't mean anything if people didn't watch it and people didn't respond to it. And it really, truly makes me so happy to know that something that I've done makes other people happy, or it brings people some sort of joy or solace or anything. It really is a two-way street. And, everyone always says, I just want to thank my fans. I want to thank my fans. I want to thank my fans. I think my followers, it's true. I feel like I really am thankful of people who watch the show and people who, like yourself, who reach out to me and, want to hear about my experience. I'm still always shocked that it has such a lasting effect, and it really is so amazing. And it wouldn't be there without the fans. So thank you guys so much. Thank you.
And I guess talk about people reaching out to you, Twitter handle or any other social media people can get you at.
Yeah, Twitter handle. What is it? S Buchholz. I'm not the best Twitter. I think it's S Buchholz at just Twitter. I just got my name, and then my Instagram is. I'm a little more active on that. Is just my full name, which is a lot of unnecessary letters and H's and Q's. But yeah, Shaughn Buchholz is just my Instagram. Yeah, reach out, say
hi. Thanks a lot for joining us today.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me. I really, really appreciate it.
Sweet. And hopefully we can get the world back to normal and we can get you starting on some projects soon.
Yeah, let's get the world back to normal. Let's get the Scrubs reboot happening. Let's get pizza for everyone.
Yeah, we can make this all happen easy. I'll call up Bill. I'll be like, hey, just do it. Just do it.
He loves pizza.
Thanks a lot, man.
Thank you.